Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? LiveWire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is LiveWire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
All right, what's good? Welcome to another LiveWire Sports Media update. So, the Caitlin Clark firestorm continues to be an ongoing topic throughout the last few days. A lot of us has been putting out content of it. A lot of us been getting a lot of feedback from it. A lot of people is going bananas over it. Twitter has been on fire ever since her announcement of the Athlete of the Year article and plus her interview with Maria Taylor. So I want to, one of my subscribers, Mellow Yellow 3, he commented on a video that I had yesterday on, because I did a 3-part series of Caitlin Clark athlete of the year, time athlete of the year. I did a 3-part and I broke down certain issues in each part. Honestly, I could have did a 5-part because it's so much in there to unpack. I literally had to go back and read more, understand more, listen to more to get a general, more cut thought process of this. And one thing about me, if I'm wrong about something, I don't mind being wrong. I mean, I have had some of my subscribers in the comment section break down stuff. We have had back and forth conversation, and that shows my understanding, because I want you as my subscribers, I want y'all to comment in the section. I want you to express your concern, because this is big. This right here is probably the biggest story of the year, the biggest story of the year in sports. Caitlin Clark is the story, coming from college to the WNBA. Now that she has got a lot of accolades, a lot of awards, it's now a lot of people is after her. And her Time magazine interview, and it sparked her a certain magnitude on both sides, the woke side and the liberal side. And I generally don't do politics on my channel, but because I have a specific channel for that, where I dive into little political stuff. But when you tie sports, culture, and politics together, it's hard to deviate from them all, because you have to address the storyline and the topic. Now, my subscriber I mentioned earlier said that, what if Caitlin Clark is playing a ruse? What if she's pretending? What if she's just saying all these things just to say it? Now, my thing is that Caitlin Clark said what she said, and meaning that she said that she has earned everything, but there's excuse me, but there's privilege, meaning white privilege. She has had white privilege. And a lot of people don't like that she said that. A lot of people have turned on her. We had Jason Whitlock out here going after her. We had Megyn Kelly going after her and everything. But, Lexi Brown for the LA Sparks, she came to her defense. Ellen Duncan came to her defense. We already know how Ellen Duncan rolls, so we don't want to get into much of that. And like I said, we had Christine Berman, who seemingly that Caitlin Clark, denied that Dejanay Carrington poked her in the eye. We all seen it. We already know it. But guess what? Christine Berman still supports Caitlin Clark. You know what I'm saying? Now Ryan Clark has came out. Dan Diedrichs, he came out. He had a 2-guy party. on there talking about the situation. But I want to play what Ryan Clark had to say because I want to highlight it a little bit more. And then I'm going to give my take on why I feel like she could be. But again, Caitlyn has her own truth. We know how Caitlyn talks. We know how she speaks. We know how she carry herself. I mean, sometimes people do say things just to do things. You know, some people say things just to say, you know what, hey, this is what's going on. And I'm gonna explain to you why it could be that way. Now, do I believe it? I mean, could be, maybe, but I'm going to explain it in detail because I have a lot to unpack because a lot of people have said a lot of things, particularly about the clip about her interviewing with Maria Taylor. So take a listen to Ryan Clark first, and I'll be back.
Obviously a huge fan of Caitlin Clark, the player. She was a huge draw to the reasons NCAA women's basketball grew the way it did, along with people like Angel Reese and Dawn Staley. And then her next step into the WNBA, it was the same thing. Because of her physical gifts and intangibles as a hooper, more people tapped into it. Caitlin Clark being named the Times Athlete of the Year is well-deserved. And on the other side of that, her understanding of what her privilege is as a white woman and her awareness of what not only black women have done to build the league and to build the game, but what life is like for them based on the color of their skin is, as you said, beyond her years as it comes to wisdom, but it's also the microcosm of what sports are supposed to be. Sports bring us together, and we're talking about a young lady from Iowa, right? A young lady who, growing up, had to compete against athletes of all color and had to realize that as women, they face things based on their gender. And then on top of being faced with things based on your gender, also these black women are faced with things about being a double minority. And in being an ally and in being a voice and in using her platform, she's even being attacked by those that look like her. Megyn Kelly said, you know, Caitlin Clark was on her knee apologizing. And Caitlin eloquently answered it in that, no, I just think I'm aware. I've always tried to understand what was going on around me. And I've always focused on blocking out the noise. And it seems like because Caitlin Clark, just simply based on her color, she became an idol, or she became a trophy piece to the white community in a sport that was dominated by black women. And they wanted to set her apart when all she's truly ever wanted to do was be a part of the team. A part of the team the way Maya Moore, her favorite basketball player, was. And I think we've continued to want to push the game forward as men as a whole for women to be recognized as great athletes as well and to be treated in the way that their efforts say they deserve to be treated. But for black women, when you have Caitlin Clark stand up on your behalf and say, as we elevate you, we elevate the entire game, reminds me a lot of what Ryan Mundy said when we were talking about mental health. He said, what's good for black mental health is good for all mental health. And I think Caitlin Clark saying the same thing about the game of basketball. All these things I receive, all this love, all this praise, if we gave that to the very deserving black women as well, what's good for the black women of the game is good for the whole of the game. And so I think there's a greater appreciation for who she continues to grow to be as a leader as much as a player. And I think we all believe, you know, she's setting the stage for the women's game to be bigger than it's ever been. And as her platform grows, using her voice in this way, I think will only allow her to reach more communities, more sort of opportunities to show that that culture can all to come together, be as one, like Jonquel Jones said on our show as well.
CC, you invited to the cookout.
And more so, you're invited to the pivot.
Oh, 100%.
Now, I do believe I do believe that Caitlin Clark will be on the pivot. I believe Ryan Clark will reach out to her or her representative and have her on the pivot. I think somebody said something really profound. That Caitlin, Caitlin, if people have a huge problem with what Caitlin Clark said in the Time article, like Megyn Kelly, like um, Jason Whitlock, then invite her to the show. Invite her on your podcast. Have a sit down conversation with her. Me personally, some of the things that she said, I don't agree with, but I'm not here to diminish Caitlin Clark as a person. She's 22 years old. I remember being 22. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant was 19 coming into the league. The way you think now is not how you're going to think 2 years, 3 years from now. You're not going to think that way. Your whole learning perspective is going to gain so much knowledge. So you're going to start to understand the things that you said then and how you think now. They're like, dang, I wish I had knew that when I was 22. I say this all the time. What I know now, if I knew that back then, but it doesn't work that way because it's phases to life that you have to go through. There's trials and tribulations that you have to go through. There's seasons that you have to go through to experience this. Caitlin Clark stood on her truth, but some of us don't like her truth or what she said. Could she said it another way? Could the question could be asked another way? Could she just be playing people to say, well, you know what? Hey, I'm saying this now, but this is not what I really feel. But then if she say how she really felt or say what we expected her, wanted her to say, and say this, then guess what? The same way she's getting backlash now, she would continue. She would have got backlash even more. So the whole twofold thing is, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Could Caitlin Clark be playing Jedi mind tricks on us? Could be. Who knows? Only Caitlin Clark knows. But she repeated it in time. She said it in time, and she repeated it talking to Maria Taylor. But we got people out here thinking otherwise now, saying that, hey, she's being humiliated, that they giving her a humiliation ritual, the black dress, the way she was sitting uncomfortable, I mean, yeah, Caitlin Clark probably never wore a dress like that, so it's showing more of her skin. So maybe she's not comfortable showing her body like that. She has wore Prada before. Some say the white chair that she was sitting in is a humiliation ritual. It's part of the ritual. She's being humiliated. She's being out here, she's bending the knee. She's bowing down, whatever you decide that you think is going on with Caitlin Clark, we could dive deeper into a lot of different things, a lot of different angles. Caitlin Clark's favorite player is Maya Moore. She never wavered from that. Never. Some people think what she said is a business move. It's because she don't want to be getting beat up on going into the next season. Maybe she gets the benefit of the whistle now. Maybe the referee's not going to mess with her. Maybe some of the players is not going to, target her or poke her in the eye and all of this stuff. Saying there's so many different theories or assumptions out there, but the only person knows what's really going on is Caitlin Clark herself. But we could always have healthy conversation, agree to disagree. Me personally, I'm going to continue to support her because I fell in love with her because of her game, not because of political view or anything like that. Sure, there could have been a different outcome in the article. Sure, it could have been different things that could have been said. But at the end of the day, we we as human beings need to look ourselves in the face and say, hey, at this moment in time, there has to be some point of coming together I remember back in the day, and I'm not going to labor anything because we could have these conversations and it would be healthy. Now we can't because you have to pick a side. And not saying that you should not be upset about what Caitlin Clark said. I'm not saying that at all. Everybody has a right to feel the way they feel. But just remember, Caitlin Clark is 22 years old. 22, guys. It's not like she's 34, 42, or 50 something. And say, well, hey, you know what? You should know better. Now, some people say, hey, Caitlin needs to come out and, like I said, talk to the conservative side, reassure her fans. That's up to her if she wants to do that. I hear people say, well, you know what? She just killed her brand. She just killed her fan base. Oh, ticket sales ain't gonna be as good next year. Or TV viewership. I beg to differ. Because sports, no matter what, there's people out there. There's tons, thousands, millions of her fans out there that say, hey, I don't approve what she said, but I like her because she can play basketball. She's a damn good basketball player. I'm still gonna ride with her. You got to look at it from all angles. And like I said, Caitlin Clark probably like some people say, they feel like she made a business decision. So where it doesn't have to be. But the soon as you open a door at that magnitude, they're gonna expect for you to continue to do it again. And this is something that Caitlin Clark is going to learn. Michael Jordan learned this. Why you think Michael Jordan don't speak at stuff? Why you think Michael Jordan don't participate? He doesn't get into the political stuff at all. You see how much LeBron gets it. Soon as LeBron opens his mouth about something and you don't feel strongly about it, he gets it. And LeBron is what, in his 40 now? I mean, he was doing it back in his 30s, but still, you gotta, just like this here. When Kelsey Mitchell told the media when they heard her say, hey, or when Caitlin won the Rookie of the Year, and Kelsey Mitchell told her, she said, hey, kid, you accomplished everything, give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. If Kelsey Mitchell had to learn to give Caitlin Clark some grace, Leah Boston, Lexi Hall, and everything, why can't we give her some grace? Why we can't not give her some grace and say, hey, this young lady has the weight of the world on her shoulders. She has the weight of the world on her shoulders. And no matter how she answers a question, no matter what she says, somebody's not going to like it, no matter what. To me, I don't feel like her brand is going to be touched. She's already built her brand. Her brand is intact. You can't damage something that is already in place. You think thousands of Indiana fans is not going to come to these games next year to see her play? They like how she plays. You think there's not gonna be sellout arenas around when she touchdown because they're coming in town? You don't think merchandise gonna be sold? Hey, she might have the number one selling jersey again. But people gonna sit here and say, well, because she bent the knee, that's why she did that, you know. But she did it before she even made comments. So that's not gonna be a very fair assessment to say. Me personally, I just think that Caitlin Clark will be fine. You just have to learn from this. What your word speaks volume because you're at the highest peak right now. And there are people looking for you to fall from the top. We already see what the WNBA does to her. I don't have to illustrate all of that again. There are agendas out there, to be honest with you. I'm not going to sit here and say they're not. Do they want Caitlin Clark to be a part of that agenda? Who knows? Only time will tell. Only time will tell. But the fact of the matter is that I have kids. Caitlin's probably 2 years older than my oldest daughter, about 3, 4 years older than my youngest daughter. If my kids made a comment like that, and knowing that they at that young age, what I would do if I was somebody in her inner circle or her parents or somebody say, hey, Caitlin, we know you did this article, but here, let's sit down so we could educate you or talk to you more about it so you could really understand the the feelings of both sides, why people feel a certain way. Because everything is a learning situation as you go through life. You continue to learn. So if my kids came to me and say something like that or has something that could cause controversial, me, it's my job as a parent to sit down with my kid and explain to them so they can have a better understanding, which I do that anyway. And that's why my kids look at me a certain way because they know that, hey, my dad is going to make sure I'm on the right path. We all make mistakes in life. We all have said things in life that got us in trouble. Trust me, I've been there time and time again. But guess what? I know how to understand the situation. One thing we see that the first time you say something, people ready to pack up, throw you out in the pasture, shoot you, go on about your business. My advice to you, Caitlin, if this is your truth, stick by your truth. People come in your life. People will come in your life, come and go in your life. I said it. I use a Wizard of Oz analogy. Like Dorothy will say, "My gosh, people come and go so quickly." My thing is this here, Caitlin. Me personally, I'm giving you grace. I think this was going to be a learning experience from you, and I think you will not make that same mistake in the future. That's what I think. Now, whether you pulling a roost over our eyes or not, it remains to be seen. It's remained to be seen. Some people think, hey, you know what? She bent the knee. She done kissed the ring. Oh, guess what? That Nike deal about to drop next year. She's gonna get that deal next year. That's what people thinking. Oh, well, she might win another award. Oh, she's in there now. She's part of them. Some people say, hey, um, you know, if you host Saturday Night Live, you part of the agenda now. If you show up on Saturday Night Live, you're being groomed. It's whatever you choose to think. But like I said, this topic right here is going to be ongoing because there's so much to continue to unpack. And all I can say is that, hey, I like I said, I went back and listened. I went back and read. There's a lot of things that Caitlin Clark has said. Now, I know, to me personally, I do not believe she believes that Dejanay Carrington poking the eye was not intentional. It was as clear as intentional. You got people out here thinking that no, it's not intentional when you directly seeing a finger directly shoots down to your eye. But, again, to me, I I don't know, man. I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, we have to look ourselves in the mirror. We gotta look at ourselves in the mirror and have self-reflection for ourselves and see what we doing wrong in our life. Because if we, people out here saying Caitlin Clark is being bullied, that the women in the WNBA bully her into saying those stuff in the article. I mean, there are so much narrative out here around this situation, but you have to have a clear mind and a clear conscience to really assess it the right way. Because whether it's right or wrong, you can't, you're just gonna hang up your coat in your house and say, I'm not wearing that coat again. I don't like the way it looked. I got laughed at. Or you gonna just wear your coat and say, you know what? Hey, I bought it. If somebody can't deal with it, too bad, tough. So again, man, is Caitlin Clark pulling the wool over our eyes? Me personally, I don't see it. I think her truth is her truth. She's been speaking her truth, and I don't see her turning, but like I said, time will tell. But me personally, I'm going to support her. I'm going to always I'm gonna always give her grace because she's still young. She's learning and she's got a lot to learn, and she's going to continue to learn. You know, she's more self-aware than we give her credit for. So leave your likes, comments below. Until the next video, I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? LiveWire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is LiveWire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.